AskReddit by deleted. What industry do you consider to be legal? Organized crime. Yelp advertise your business with them to increase engagement and gain positive reviews, but when you stop advertising, they suppress positive reviews and promote negative reviews. Plus, they're huge dicks about it. I had a guy from Yelp bug the shit out of me when I didn't want to pay for their service, so he started telling me that they were going to put banners for my competitors directly above my listing. I told him I didn't care, cause I've only ever had one person contact me because of Yelp, so he just told me that my business will definitely fail without them, because it didn't seem like I was savvy enough to hack it. Cable TV companies that have eliminated the competition in an entire town. Many cities have laws that there can't be competition. Originally was sold as a way to get cable companies to build the infrastructure with the promise of a short-term monopoly. Decades later, they still have the monopolies. Lobbying, H&AMP, R-Block, TurboTax, paid health insurance. I've used TurboTax for a lot of years. Last year when I was filing TT had a bug that prevented me from filling my taxes. They never fixed the bug. Ended up using free TaxUser. Cheaper, easier to use, no bugs. Pharmacy benefit management, the root cause behind why it is impossible to get honest and transparent drug pricing. This 100% should be at the top. Source, I'm a pharmacist. Edit, just to spread awareness, some insurance companies, Caremark, for example, own the pharmacies themselves, CVS, and the PBM, Pharmacy Benefit Manager. Vertical monopoly, should be illegal. Comment below, drop this amazing video. https://yahoo.be/_khh6pznhcm. Printer inks. This needs more attention. It's extortion. The newer the printer, the worse they are. Chips that require brand name ink and toner to be used. Refusal to print in black and white until you buy yellow. Toner quantity determined by number of pages printed, not amount of toner used. We have analyzers at work that only print in black and white, but since the printer they chose was the only one ever approved for that analyzer, we have to use it. We have to stock all the color toners, even though they have never been used. That, however, does not keep the color toner from gradually migrating into the waste toner cartridge. Any government with any level of competence would outlaw this. US health insurance. United Healthcare posted $5 billion in profits in the third quarter last year. I got stabbed last year and had to be rushed to the ER via ambulance because I couldn't move without gushing blood. United Healthcare said it wasn't an emergency, so an ambulance wasn't needed, and covered $100 of my $2.50 K bill. I pay $600 a month in premiums, and that's with my work paying half. The Church of Scientology. Dude literally wrote the doctrine of the church while strung out on meth in a hotel in Los Angeles. Wrote like 50 shitty books, chose one and was like, let's make this a religion, everyone pay me. And somehow it worked. The more you read about Scientology, the more horrifying it is. Their Sea Org thing is basically slave labor on international waters. Civic asset forfeiture. Yeah, it basically legalizes theft and increases corruption in law enforcement. Civil forfeiture in the United States. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/civil_forfeiture_the_United_States. Politicians trading stocks. Edit, the reason why is because they pass legislation that directly affects stock price. They essentially have insider knowledge on what exactly will go up and down on the market. You can also look up Nancy Pelosi's husband that made millions on Nvidia stock, right before we sanctioned Russia by not providing computer chips. Coincidence? I think not. Deleted. This. I had just bought 2 ticks and paid a service fee. Last minute I couldn't go, and resold back on Ticketmaster, trying to just get what I paid back. Ticketmaster took another 15% from me and from the new buyer. Triple dipped one ticket. It's absurd. I scrolled for a while and did see it, so I'll throw out ysis cable providers. They are almost literal monopolies who try their best to pretend they are something else to get legal protections they don't deserve. And the absolute cheek of some of the bastards too. I left an apartment a few years ago. I called to cancel the internet. They tried making me pay £50 for the privilege. Like, dude, I know exactly what's involved for you to do this. I'm not paying £50 for it. It'll be off my credit report in a year or so. Never paid it. It's the principle. Anything based around an MLM. Deleted. Payday loans. Yes. They are despicable. And the laws that enable them. I scrolled for a while and was surprised not to see the online gambling industry. The offline gambling industry too. Fantasy sports betting companies seem to be ramping up their advertising over the past few years. Ticketmaster. They buy their own tickets and sell them at a markup. They are scalpers. Lobbyists. Yeah, the idea behind lobbying makes sense in theory. Congress members can't be experts on everything. If Congress is all voting on a measure regarding the environment or gun safety, it makes sense to have people who work in those fields coming to provide their expert advice to Congress so they can make an informed decision. Somewhere along the line it just morphed into legalized bribery. The student loan industry is BS. That's what happens when the gov guarantees loans and colleges no longer have any reason to keep tuition the same. They get paid from the gate and the gov is the one who collects interest from its own taxpayers. Debt collectors collections agencies. I have a $38 debt from a book club that I never signed up to, that sent me one book. Every 5 years they pop up on my credit report for a year and disappear. How the hell is that even remotely legal? Have you looked into disputing it? Diamonds. Tow truck companies. Legally allowed to steal your vehicle and force you to pay exorbitant fees to get it back. My roommate had his truck stolen. The police called him, and he picked it up. Minor damage to the steering column and the grille where they drove it into a snowbank. The insurance company wanted to pick it up with a tow truck and inspect it before authorizing repairs. So, I drive him to the yard, and they tell him the truck is beyond repairs, and they want to give him $7,000 for the truck he owes $11,000 on. He is pissed. I walked into the yard. I found his truck, and the whole cab is smashed in. He had pictures from 2 days before, after he had gotten it back that showed it was in good condition. They ended up paying for an identical truck. I think it was around $15,000. It's not really an industry, but the whole management of football in Europe seems to be corrupted to the bone. Are you saying it's not just Juventus? The bottled water industry. I'll take your water and when you get thirsty, you buy my water. The American prison system. Ticketmaster, StubHub, and the whole racket of third-party ticket brokerage is such utter BS that we have to pay so much to companies that add so little value. America's health industry. Insurance and pharmaceuticals. Us Congress, insider trading. Hell, it's not limited to insider trading. Elites are given different rules to play by, from everyone else. The optical industry. It's a monopoly ran by Luxottica. All insurance companies, especially health. The lengths they will go to find a way to not cover you is bonkers. The wedding industry. The funeral industry. Insurance. I remember my dad explaining car insurance to me when I was very young. Every year you make a bet with the insurance company that you won't get in a car accident. And the company hopes they win their bet, and you hope they win the bet, and don't get in an accident. Oh, and only you put money into the pot. Hose. I work for a garbage company, like a company that actually hauls garbage, but yeah, it's also a garbage company, and this one area we operate in was hit by a bad winter storm, so all operations were shut down for a week. This one hoa president kept calling in demanding we come service them. We couldn't for a few obvious reasons, and when the weather finally cleared and we began operations again, we had to service the big priority properties first, like hospitals, doctors' offices, schools, food service, etc. She kept calling and saying her hoa was more of a priority than hospitals. Mega churches, religion in general, but those mega churches and their TV preachers begging money from poor suckers just infuriates me to no end. The prosperity gospel especially. The churches that preach that the richer the preacher is and the more extravagant their lifestyle is, the more blessings God will bestow upon his followers. Lobbying. The American 24/7 news cycle and all, and I mean all, of the biased networks that prioritize political agendas over objective journalism. They're propaganda machines for the government and nothing more. If it has a crawl, it's not news. It's infotainment. Insurance. The game is rigged from the start.